I know a lot of my fans love Drake. A lot of my fans love Cochise. A lot of my fans love
Kendrick Lamar,
NBA Youngboy. Like, do I want to drop this day? Because who are they gonna listen to first? 9 times out of 10 before you, they're gonna listen to the most hyped up shit that everyone else is talking about on Twitter and Instagram.
They're gonna listen to Drake first. Welcome back, everybody, to
the Soul Serum Podcast.
I am your real raw energy host, Clay Bonine. I am joined by my Austin Powers, all I wanted was my groove back co-host Tanner Mavis.
You are now tuned in to the #1 Heat podcast in the world.
Does that make us the #1 Minions soundtrack podcast in the world too?
Not soundtrack.
Oh, you're right. It's not a part of the official soundtrack, which is an issue in and of itself, I think.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for tuning back in. Soul Serum Podcast, episode 76. We are here. And today we are talking about something that, I think has been mounting up in music recently. In this day and age, in 2022, people are consuming and producing more music than ever before. And the way that people release the music for us to consume, I think is becoming ever more crucial for artists, right? It's not just about how the fans are going to listen, but also how you promote your music. It's also about your artist imagery. Can you release things this way? Do you have to go a more traditional route? So today I just wanted to look at some of the pros and cons of a few different ways that artists release music, mainstream people, underground people. And Tanner, as you are a manager for a hip hop artist currently releasing music, I wanted to see why you think these do work, why these don't work, what you look for when it's time for E to release music. So it's kind of what I want to look at today. And I think there are two main strategies. This is not the two only strategies ever. I think these are just the most common ones. The first one is something, it's the very traditional single album release.
Yeah.
This is something that has been tweaked over time. The way people did this in 2003 is definitely different from the way they do it in 2022. But does this feel like the safe option for artists? Is that why this has been a continued mainstay of how people release their music?
Yeah, I guess in a sense. I feel like when you're just starting out, you definitely shouldn't come out the gate and just drop an album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think hypothetically, what are we talking? Is it how, when we say how artists release music, single album, is this person already have singles and albums under their belt, or is this just a one time rollout we're talking about leading up to an album? It's kind of, this is kind of a general.
In this situation, let's say that this artist has already has some traction. They're not a huge artist, maybe a mid-level
they have
artist.
a little catalog.
They have a little bit of a catalog already. And these may have just been things that have been released on SoundCloud, and then they put it in an album, this and that. But this is their first, all right, with this album, I'm ready to roll it out. I'm ready to release it.
They have a budget for marketing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're trying to do something somewhat commercially.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the context that we should look at this in. Because obviously for if you're just starting to do music, this wouldn't be the way that I think, you would probably do it. I feel like, we've talked about it a little bit on the show before, but when you first just starting out, it's just fuck it, get the music out there no matter how it goes. Which I kind of want to talk about that a little bit too, but what okay, mid-level artists, little bit of a marketing budget. Why do they choose the single album, single album, whatever? What's safe about that?
Well, if you already have a catalog under your belt, I'm guessing you have people listening to you, have a little bit of a fan base. I don't know, just going with a single, there's no added pressure of like dropping a whole album at once and, you know, risking like it flopping, like, and a single is a way to like really put yourself out there and give a taste of what's to come. Yeah. And like promote it like it's an album and like really, really push it, like, and get as many people listening to that song at once in hopes of them coming back the next time. Like, like that's always been like what a single is for. And like usually singles are the songs that you think are the hits off of your upcoming album. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Now, do you remember when we did the 3REM interview, they talked about like somebody gave them the advice of like, you should, not that you should never drop an EP, but like until your fans are like fiending for it and hounding you for it, you shouldn't drop an EP. You should just go single, single, single the whole time. Do you think that is, we did that interview like 2 years ago, so a lot has changed in music since then. Do you think that's still a valuable way to drop music? Does it,
bro? I mean, it just is different for every artist, bro. Like, but I will say this: I don't think people will take you seriously until you have like strong projects like under your belt. Like, it's really hard to, you know, gain like a big fan base without having, you know, projects under your belt. Cause like really like projects and albums or and mixtapes, whatever you want to call it, like they're like timestamps of like parts of your evolution as an artist. And like you really get a chance to like bring people like into your world and like what you're thinking and your vision, and like you allow people to experience it through sound, through visually, through everything from your Instagram post to way you promote yourself on TikTok to your music videos to the cover art to everything. Like it all needs to be like in sync, and like a project is really a chance to do that with people. Nowadays, like you really have to go hard with it and make sure everything's in line, because if people aren't interested in the first or second song on the album, like they're not going to listen to the rest of it. Like you got to really bring them in, which is why singles are important. But I think it's just different for every artist, man. Like I don't think a digital marketer should ever tell an artist that you shouldn't release a project because you're not big enough. Like I would never tell artists, if an artist in their heart knows they have a really cool like if they have music ready for a project and they have the vision ready for it, like fucking go for it. Like, like I wouldn't advise dropping like a 25 song album, but like by any means, but like, you know, do a little package of songs, like, and go crazy with it. Like all around, like, and not just like drop it and post it up on your story one time and then be done with it. Like Tyler Creator made a great point in his last interview with Converse. Like he's been promoting Call Me If You Get Lost for like a year now. Granted, he's one of the biggest artists in the world. He has probably one of the biggest tour budgets in the world, biggest budgets for all of his promotion, period. So he's able to promote for a year long. But the principle, he has a point where a lot of kids, especially in this era of, you want to call SoundCloud era or just the independent artist era in general, like artists that we work with that I see, like granted they have a fan base where they post on their story once or twice and they're gonna go listen, but like even then, bro, like people don't even give their songs or albums or projects like a chance sometimes. Like they're just always moving on to the next thing, which I get. Like a lot of artists, especially if you're really serious and you take your artistry serious, like you're always thinking about the next thing and want to move on to the next thing. But man, like I don't know, I think some of the biggest songs, like the artist just like believed into it, like breakout songs that artists just believed in it to a point where they were promoting it everywhere for like months. Months. And I don't know, sometimes that's what it takes to like really break through. But I don't know, I'm kind of like dancing in circles on the original question. But.
Well, I want to transition this into a different way that people release their music. And this option, I think, works for a certain kind of artist in this era, in this this time, if you will. But the quote unquote leak You know, they aren't like, here's my single, here it goes, I'm ready for it. Like, and we saw a lot of this with like 2015 to 2017 Cardi, but obviously with TikTok, the snippet, the leak has evolved a lot. But it's this concept of, you know, letting a section of an unreleased song or a leak go, and the power of TikTok, the power of memes, the power of promotion pages, whatever, start to take that 15 to 30 seconds, and these fans just get so hungry and hungry. I mean, we talked about it on the one episode, like me and you had that tunnel vision snippet that was just like a loop for 2 minutes, just like, I need this, I need this, I need this. This works for artists like Cardi, Yeet, you know, maybe some like Autumn, some Wyland, you know, kind of in that area. What about this strategy is beneficial to these artists? And additionally, why can't everybody do this?
Yeah, like only those type of artists can do that. Like, like they have a diehard fan base that's just waiting to hear what's next. They're at the peak of their careers. Like, kids are just fiending for like what's next because they can't get enough.
But Cardi wasn't really at the peak of his career, though. I feel like when we were getting like the golden era of the Cardi snippets, you know, like the pre-self-titled.
Yeah, but he had released a lot of music leading up to that. I think he kind of like whether it was with Awful and then coming out of Awful and just releasing like a lot of shit like on his own. Like he had a lot of music out on SoundCloud, and there was definitely like a 1.5 year period to where he had been talking about a project. But see, like, it's very hard to like scientifically break down why Cardi can do this or why Yeet can do this. It's just they have this like it factor about them that like allows them to.
Well, I think it's like the mystery of it all.
I mean, definitely,
with
but
Yeet
I don't.
and Cardi specifically, it's like the mystery of it. Yeet turned down. I know you saw that TikTok, but it was like Yeet turned down XXL, Rolling Loud, multiple interviews, but the Minions movie got him, and it's like, why? Like, we want to know so much about Yeet, and we want to like fans want to.
Because Rolling Loud and XXL. Well, XXL is kind of irrelevant now, and like no one really cares. No one cares as much as they used to.
Yeet was already past
Rolling
like
Loud,
what XXL is going to do for him. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and bro, I like XXL. I will still pay attention every year. It's just
totally me too.
It's just like the public does not really give a fuck anymore.
Yeah,
and Rolling Loud is an extremely successful and accessible festival. Like, I'm not saying anyone can get on Rolling Loud because not anyone can get on Rolling Loud by any means, but like,
but they got a lot of people.
But
on
you
there,
can,
though.
if you have somewhat of a successful, you know, hip hop career, and you have the right person on your team and the right agent, or the right record deal, like you can get on Rolling Loud, whether it's at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, like the first stage where like barely anybody's there. You know what I mean? Like. But like you can get on Rolling Loud. So, but like the fucking Minions movie and like Yeet, like there's something extremely comedic and ironic about it, but it just worked.
And it's also a Yeet song. Like it's not like he was like, "It's me, I'm on the Minion soundtrack." Like he made a Yeet song for the Minions
and it's
trailer.
And like the Minions movie is like a highly like grossed like box office ticket selling. I don't know what the fucking word is, but like,
no, you're right.
It will sell. You know what I mean?
Certainly will.
And for him to be a part of like a movie like that, and I hate to say it, but like a lot of white people watch the Minions and fucking like that's been always like a marketing tactic for like record labels, is trying to get that audience to latch on to your music, because they're the ones that are going to buy your merch, they're the ones that are going to buy tickets, they're the ones that are going to show up to your shows. You see all these kids dressing up as the Minions and going to the movie theater, like what do they look like?
Like us.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. To get back to the original point though, like what? So I know that we can't go into the scientifics of it, not necessarily for Cardi and Yeet, but like why do we as the consumer love the snippets? Like what makes it so attractive to us?
Because we're listening to something that's supposed to be a secret. Like it's supposed to be under wraps. It's not supposed to be ours yet.
Yeah. But we
us as humans love like
fucking what makes up the sausage, type shit. Like it's the yearning for more. I know that there's more. I know that there's more to this song. You just gave us the chorus and I know that there's more, and the chorus is fire as fuck. Like I need this. But
there is an advantage to snippets, obviously. Like it just continues to build hype while you're not even releasing music.
Yeah.
Especially now with TikTok, people can create content with it, their own content with it. Like,
yeah, I think, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I think the machine of TikTok music promotion is deeply tied into the snippets now.
Definitely.
Because like the Lozzy song that he just released, I felt like I already knew that song because he has been putting it in every single TikTok of his. And like before he released it, I like went to go look it up on a Spotify and I'm like, oh shit, it's not even out. Yeah. And I like know this song. Yeah. Like I think to me, that's the most powerful part of the snippet strategy, the snippet method, if you will.
You already know the song before it comes out. And then once you get it, like you just want to like reaffirm that you know the lyrics. Yeah. So you go back and listen to it like. And then like when it comes out and you're with your friends in the whip, you're just like, you already know the words. I'm like, how the fuck you already know this? Like, oh, this snippet's been out for 2 weeks now. Like
I've had the SoundCloud,
the CDQ, bro.
Yeah.
Like
okay, now
but you can only do this if you have a diehard fan base.
Exactly. Which is a great transition into this next strategy, which is really held for the top tier artists, Drake, Kanye, Beyonce, whatever you want to call it, but the fucking surprise album.
Yeah.
What about that? Like, so like, let's establish, obviously we know that they can do this because they are the biggest artists in the world and no matter what they do is always going to get play. But like, why does Drake drop Honestly Nevermind a couple hours after he announces it, but previous albums have tons of promo and tons of rollout? Tyler I don't want to say would never, but Tyler would probably never, most likely never, just drop an album out of the fucking sky. That's a guy who is going to have it all planned.
He might now. You said
he might. I know. Now he's gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker.
Oh, Clay said I can't do it.
Hey, Tyler, if you're watching the Soul Serum podcast, come on, man, appreciate it. But like, what about we can go over this quickly, but like, what makes that so cool to us as fans? Like, oh shit, Drake.
Yeah, I mean, we love surprises, bro. We love surprises from our favorite artists and legends at that,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not just dropping and then it's done. Like all these artists have the biggest machines in the world behind them that's gonna slide it to radio, slide it to different outlets, different places, and that are doing the work for them. Like Drake can drop whenever he wants. Beyonce can drop whenever she wants. Yeah. Kendrick can drop whenever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And their label is going to work the fuck out of that because they are who they are, and anyone is going to want to support it and help grow it.
Yeah. There's a lot of meat on that bone too. Yeah. There's a lot of meat on the bone.
It's not just drop and then it's done, like no promotion. With them, it's like when Drake drops, it's just going to spread organically because one, everybody fucks with them, and two, the machine that they have behind them. Yeah. They're going to put up, I don't even want to know what Drake's like marketing budget just looks like and shit, bro. Like it's probably stupid.
Well, didn't he just like signed a new deal too, right? Yeah. So like
a 40 mil or something.
I'm sure they were putting a lot of fucking money behind that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of deeper than just dropping. Yeah. But only they can do that because look at those names: Kanye, Drake, Beyonce. Like those are three of the best not even hip hop artists, like
just artists.
Some of the most
period.
iconic artists to ever like record and release music. Like,
Well, okay, I'm gonna take it down a notch, back off of Kanye, Drake, and Beyonce. In a recent turn of events, and in a like unorthodox way, Summrs album, he dropped on a Monday.
Yeah.
Did you see that that post where he's talking about it on his story and I find that very interesting. I didn't even really think about that, but like we've been so caught up. Popular music has been very caught up in the Friday release, so much over these past couple of years. Yeah. So like, why do you think, we can't speak for Summrs or his team or this or that, but like, what does that mean? What does that say for Summrs to release on a Monday and still go number 5 or number 7 on the hip hop charts on Apple Music? Like,
I think he's smart. Like dropping on a Monday, like beginning of the week when people have just winded down from the weekend type shit, like, and not releasing with all these other bigger artists, like that whole day, probably for 24 hours, like people were just listening to him or paying attention or giving his album a chance after they had just listened to whatever dropped on the past Friday. Like, I don't know. I think it's smart. I don't know. I understand like his frustrations and stuff. He was talking more so about like not having like his quote unquote industry friends that are like posting the album and shit, which is like Yeet and like the people that he had helped aren't and now are in this place, like aren't helping him now necessarily.
Right.
He could have went top 5. But he got number 7 and he's independent. Like he's not signed. Like you saw his name next to like his album next to like NBA Youngboy and Certified Lover Boy and like this and that. It's like it's still like a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
And like,
does that give you hope for like music releases in the future? To bring this back to like you managing like do you feel pressure that you all have to drop on a Friday or you have to drop the music in a certain way? And does this give you a little bit of hope to be like, well, we could drop on a fucking Tuesday and like da-da-da-da?
I'm not going to go into the specifics of what me and my team like discuss on camera.
Sure.
I have no issue. I would rather drop on like a Wednesday personally.
Yeah.
For the same reasons, to not drop same day as like bigger artists.
Yeah.
But when you have these relationships with like the DSPs, like Spotify, Apple Music, all these people, and just like all these platforms, like you have like a rollout lined up and you have these playlists that you have a good chance of getting on. You have to know when the curators of these playlists are updating their playlists.
Right.
So which is on Friday at midnight.
Yep.
They're updating all their playlists. So you kind of have to play into what the industry is like doing and like the curators behind it, these playlists. Like it's sad that it's not sad, but like in my opinion, it's sad that we have to play the game with what the industry is kind of like providing for us. But you kind of have to because like E gets a lot of support from Spotify, Apple Music, Audio Mac, all this shit. And dropping on a Friday, he has a really good chance on getting on New Music Friday. Right. He's got he's been on Most Necessary twice, which is the 3rd biggest hip hop playlist. Like, he's on Fresh Finds Hip Hop every week, which updates on Wednesday, by the way. So it wouldn't really matter. But majority of the playlists are updating on Fridays. So that's usually the reason why people drop on Fridays. But I don't personally think you should just do it because the industry is like telling you to. I think you should drop. I personally think you should drop during the week, and as long as you have a good relationship, your team has a good relationship with curators behind these playlists, they'll put you on there when it's time to update. Like, and then you can have your little organic moment with no playlists by yourself, and you can really get a sense of how big your fan base is and how big the growth is from this single, from the past one, or this project from the past project, and really get a sense of like where you're at. Like the first day or two, like, cause you always want to like check the stats and like see like, on the last project, okay, I did 500 streams first day. Like next one, you want to try to double it and get 1,000. You know what I mean? Like you want to cause the playlists are just going to give you like these streams because
people are just
tapping it, just shuffling through and just letting go. Like if you just drop like your fan, you know that's your fan base because there's no playlists that it's been added to yet.
Yeah,
you know, and that's fair. To credit to Summrs, he got to number 7 by just his fan base, and I don't know how many playlists he got on or anything, but like I'm guessing 99% of the people that push him to that spot is his fucking fan base.
But like, even if like he is getting put on all these playlists, like you said, they're not getting updated until Friday at midnight anyway. So like, he's not even going to see that growth in those numbers until the next week too. Yeah. So I think that was that to me, like the takeaway from it, and we can wrap this up here. Like the takeaway for me from Summrs dropping on a Monday was just like, I feel like that gives, not so big of artists hope that they don't have to follow this rule. You do make a lot of valid points about, you know, if you drop on Friday and you have good relationships with these DSPs and playlists, I definitely understand that. But I think like we've gotten a little too comfortable. And I'm saying this from a fan standpoint. We've gotten way too comfortable with the Friday.
You got to think about the consumer. You know? I think about more the listener and the fan more than I do the fucking Spotify. Yeah. Which don't pay artists nearly what they should be making. Like you got to think about the fan. Like, okay, do I really want to drop this project on Friday as an independent artist? The same day as I know a lot of my fans love Drake. A lot of my fans love Cochise. A lot of my fans love
Kendrick Lamar,
NBA YoungBoy. Like, do I want to drop this day? Because who are they gonna listen to first? 9 times out of 10 before you, they're gonna listen to the most hyped up shit that everyone else is talking about on Twitter and Instagram.
They're gonna listen to Drake first. No disrespect. But
no disrespect.
Listen to Drake first, though.
No disrespect. Unless, besides your like 1% of like diehard fans.
Yeah.
If you're Summrs, there are Summrs fans that will choose like a lot of Summrs fans will choose Summrs over Drake.
100%.
But
100% agree.
Not everybody has that type of fan base.
Yeah. And he's worked hard.
To have that fan base.
Totally agree. And we work hard too for you to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Soul Serum. Dude, I'm knocking them out of the park. I'm knocking out of the park now. Subscribe to us on YouTube, the main page, the TV page. You already know the fucking vibes. Follow us on TikTok, Soul Serum Podcast. Join the Discord. We stream your music every week on Twitch at 7:30 Eastern time. And I think that's it. That's all. You have anything special to say? Anything to add here?
New merch coming soon.
Yeah, goddamn right. And we have something mathematical planned, something exponential planned, if you will, too. With all that being said, as always, I am your host, Clay Bonine.
I'm your co-host, T Mavis.
See y'all next week. Deuces.